Welcome back to the channel, hope everybody's doing well. And in today's video we're taking a look at the laser insulated torque screwdriver, part number 7948. I did a video a while back on insulated torque screwdrivers available to me in the UK. I'll leave a link to that video in the description box below. This one did not appear in that video. I knew at the time that Laser did do this torque screwdriver, however I just couldn't get hold of one of them for the video. In the end I did contact Laser Tools directly and they said that this torque screwdriver is now obsolete and they don't have a replacement for it. So I just left it at that and it didn't appear in the video at all. However, a couple of weeks ago 3 of these came up for sale on eBay, so I purchased one so I could take a look at it. And it has arrived now, so here it is. This is the 7948, as I said, and arrives in this little sleeves, little screw sleeves. I know some people don't like these little sleeves. They're not the best for storage, I guess. And you get the screwdriver itself, and then you get a little instruction leaflet and a calibration certificate there. So there is a calibration certificate. It's made out to the Tool Connection. Tool Connection is the ultimate owner of Laser Tools brand, along with a few other brands as well. And Laser Tools, they're predominantly for automotive industry, but they don't have any of their own manufacture. They have all their tools manufactured for them. The TAF calibration laboratory, that's from Taiwan. So presumably this is made in Taiwan and calibrated in Taiwan and sent over. I don't know who the actual OEM is at this moment in time. And then we have a little instruction leaflet. And you see here we've got a conversion table here for the different units. And then on this side just some brief safety instructions and care and maintenance. And you'll notice down here at the end, if we can get the light out of it, this is where it indicates that it's insulated to 1000 volts. However, when we look at the screwdriver itself, whilst this is clearly a rubberized handle, there is no markings on this whatsoever, no OEM markings, there's no IEC identification to say that it's insulated, no 1000 volt markings, no VDE markings whatsoever. So don't know about that. Generally you would expect to see something like that on the tool to say that it is rated for 1000 volt use. But there it is. Quite a chunky little item if we line them up with the other screwdrivers that we had. Some of them anyway, our Draper one, our NGX one, our Vera one. These will be the 3 main popular ones in the UK, I would imagine, perhaps PR as well. But you can see there, it is definitely, I guess the NGX one comes a little bit close, and there's a similar sort of feel to it as well. Yeah, that's a seriously chunky little screwdriver we've got going on there. So the Draper one there, much narrower handle, and then the Laser Tools, not as rubberized, soft rubber, 100% coating. On here we've got smooth plastic on our dial here, and then our setting range up here. So our 1 to 6 Newton meter is up here, and we're in 0.1 Newton meter steps going around the handle there. To set this, you just tweak this around. There is no intermediate setting in between here. As you move it around, you can feel it click as it goes to each digit and moves up. But it's quite a soft click, but it is noticeable. So there's no setting in between any of those. So 0, so 1 Newton meter, all the way up to 6 Newton meters is its range. Now the one big difference between this and a lot of these other screwdrivers is the fitment, because this will take standard 1/4 hex bits. You don't get any bits with the screwdriver itself, you have to provide them yourself. But these are standard Vera part there. We take a fair bit of this, like a little ball bearing to hold them in place, and can be some of the bits don't fit very well. It's gone in there, so that holds in place, no problem whatsoever, all secure in there. Obviously, having it like this, you'll perhaps struggle then to get into stuff like terminals and certainly some breakers you may not be able to get into. Let's put another standard saber cut bit there just to show. So that's a bit longer there, so you will perhaps get in with this. Again, get into that one there. That's a little bit better. That's a bit too small sometimes. These here, terminals, you may or may not get into. So those standard sort of like shaped head there fit are vessel kind of weird shaped fitment in there. That does go in as well, no problems, and locks in place, so they are all okay. Even these larger ones that are designed to really go into impact drivers, they will all fit in there as well. No problems, away we go. And then you can obviously get into that much easier. So that's the click over that you see there. It's not overly noticeable. You get a very audible click from a lot of the other screwdrivers. You don't really get that from this. You can tend to feel it more than actually hear it. But that is basic operation there. So that type fits in there. I even have some of these bits from, these are annex, so these are 1000 volt rated. They do have on the 1000 volt rated, if that comes out okay. These do fit in and hold in again. These are designed for impact, so they will hold in, no problems. Obviously it comes a little bit exposed at the end there. This one that's double-ended will fit in on this one. And no, it doesn't fit in. So it goes in, and you can turn it on this one, but it won't lock into place. It will this way around, I believe. Yeah, so it does lock into place that way around, but not the other way. And if you get a fatter blade like this, that goes in, it won't go in at all and won't turn at all. So it's a little bit fussy about what bits you get, these standard bits that you get. So they will lock in as well, do exactly the same. So it locks in if you've got smaller bit sizes in there. However, the larger blade size, Phillips, so whilst it will lock in, it won't physically lock into the head. It will go in, and you can just turn it, but it just drops out. That one doesn't go in at all. So it's the internal shape inside here is a little bit strange and doesn't always allow the bits to go in. In terms of getting access to terminals, obviously you can get different screwdriver bits. These ones are from Vessel. They will fit in here, no problems, and you'll get those into terminals. A fair bit of reach. With the Posi slotted units, this kit from CK Tools, 422001. This is they call them modulo, number 1 and number 2. They are available. They will just about go in to the MCB there, and again, same attachment, so they will fit into our screwdriver, no problems. Locked in place there. Put that in. So that's all good in that respect. So a lot of bits will fit into it, but not everything. Generally, you're better off not using these double-ended bits. Just stick to the single-ended bits, and they've all seemed to have fitted okay. Including, obviously, of course, you can use sockets. That locks in. I think that particular one's saber cut, so you do have a torque nut spinner there, should you want it. And if you want to go the full hog, because obviously using all of these, apart from the annex ones, these are obviously not VDE rated, so you plug these in, so put them in, you're insulated here, but this is all exposed. That's down to you as to how you use the screwdriver and your risk assessment as to whether or not you find that acceptable. It's no different to something like these. This is one's from Philo, that one's from Beta. They're the same. You know, put that in there. This is actually VDE rated. Can't see it at the moment. Can't see it at the moment. That one definitely is VDE rated, 1000 volts. It's probably on here somewhere, I'm just missing it. But as I said, you're protecting your hand as long as your hand doesn't go down here and start touching stuff, unless you're wearing insulated gloves, but that is a risk assessment you'll have to make yourself. However, you can, if you put in a standard Cortex drive adapter and plonk them up there. These sockets from VDE, a 1/4 inch drive, and they will pop over there, and then you have maintained full 1000 volt insulation there. So that could be handy if your line of work falls into using these. So yeah, that's our screwdriver. Does seem to work reasonably well. We need to have a little bit of a look at accuracy now, don't we? I'll put this table up here of all the tests that I did. I tested this originally as the same I did with these other screwdrivers, just with 1000 tests. Initially, it looks to be pretty much there coming out of the box. There were 3 readings at 6 Newton meters that were above the 6 Newton meter tolerance level, and they all were fairly high. As a consequence, the average comes out as above the tolerance value as well. At 1 Newton meter and 3 Newton meter, they were fine, all within spec. As you went through the tests, you can see everything does start to drop in the readings that I was getting, especially at the 1 Newton meter level, and the actual average has dropped into a negative average now rather than a positive one. 3 and 6 Newton meter look to be more stable, and although there were 3 readings at the 6 Newton meter mark that were out of specification, generally they were a little bit lower, so the average did come into within spec. So there you have it. That's our Laser Tools 7948 insulated screwdriver. A reasonably good performer. Not sure how it will last in the longer term. Hopefully that bottom range doesn't go out of spec, but fairly easy to use. Very, very comfortable to use, I have to say, especially at the higher torque values. When you get up to 6 Newton meters, it's quite a wrench with some of these narrower handled screwdrivers. It's very, very easy with this. You don't get any hand fatigue with using this one, so it's quite good in that respect. And obviously the way it takes the standard bits, if it meets your risk assessment, that opens up a lot more bits available to you than are generally available with the likes of the Draper and NGX units that are out there. As I say, it is discontinued now, so there will be a little bit of luck involved in getting hold of one of these. But that'll be it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you found it useful, and I'll see you again in the next one.